Hello my friends.
Welcome all guests of the fair.
Guys, a few days ago I saw a poll on your community page asking your viewers the question, how often do you play duels? The results of this poll really surprised me. Only 2% of players play duels almost every day, 5% play several times a week, and 53% of players don't play duels at all. This is despite the fact that some players even continue to play duels to complete achievements and receive additional XP points for the rewards track. The low community interest in this mode nearly immediately after its release is definitely a big failure. In addition, players have left a lot of negative reviews about the new mode.
Dora, we didn't expect duels to become as popular as Standard or Battlegrounds, but we also didn't expect players to lose interest in the new mode so quickly.
We don't want to call the duels release a complete failure, but rather a bad start.
I have no negative attitude towards the new mode. In fact, I am glad that duels appeared in Hearthstone. On top of this, I still think we need even more new game modes. In my opinion, there are several serious disadvantages that plague duels and have caused its low popularity. Also, I'm pretty sure that duels and the rewards track have something in common.
But first of all, we want to say thank you to all of our subscribers for their support. Friends, your activity, comments, and participation in polls helps us a lot in creating new videos. You are the best.
So what is duels? In short, duels is a kind of hybrid between the dungeon run and arena modes. Sounds interesting enough, so what's the problem? In our opinion, the mode has 5 disadvantages.
Of course, the first drawback is balance. At this moment, each duel's hero has 2 different hero powers and 3 starting artifacts.
A meta game should consist of a variety of strategies, but only 3 major troublemakers dominate: Deathrattle Hunter, Discard Warlock and Aggro Demon Hunter. Elemental Mage and Weapon Rogue also show quite good results, but in my opinion these archetypes are too inconsistent. The rest of the archetypes are much weaker and need additional help from specific useful treasures. The developers tried to change this situation in the last balance patch by making some changes to the starting treasures and hero powers, but this did not have a significant impact on the metagame. Discard Warlock and Aggro Demon Hunter suffered damage, but it was not enough, as these strategies are good on their own.
Ban of cards could be the best balancing tool. This approach would encourage players to look for new unusual combinations of cards and hero powers, thus making the meta more varied. By the way, one of the cards has already been banned since early access.
The second problem is the dominance of the same pre-made decks. In duels, you have to choose one of 4 heroes, then a hero power, a powerful artifact, and finally build a starting deck of 15 unique cards from certain sets. At first glance, the mode gives you ample space for creativity. But if you build a deck without the help of guides, your chances of winning will be extremely low, since even in casual mode, players almost always use the same pre-made decks. Low interest from the community leads to low interest from pro players. For this reason, there are almost no new versions of decks and unique strategies. Most sites offer the same decks. The meta simply does not evolve. Thus, duels is a battle of 15 pre-made decks.
The next problem is treasures. Each class is capable of achieving 12 wins, but for most decks, victory is too dependent on beneficial passive effects or powerful treasures that players randomly receive during the game. Some passive effects play a critical role in your strategy and can create an invincible deck.
For example, Hunter's basic strategy in duels revolves around Deathrattles. The main goal of this deck is to activate the Deathrattle of one of your minions using your hero power. You have the ability to create a serious threat in the early game thanks to Nerubian Egg and Bloated Python. Now add a very powerful early passive effect that makes you invincible. Oh, how about a hero power that only costs 1 mana and can be used twice per turn, or permanent stealth for all your minions, or all of your Deathrattle minions get reborn, or all of their Deathrattle effects trigger twice. You can often meet opponents who are lucky enough to find the right treasures. The chances of winning a match against such an opponent are too small.
The imbalanced treasures were extremely useful in Dungeon Run, and in battles against strong bosses, they were fun. In battles against other players, however, this is very annoying.
The fourth drawback is rewards. For victories in casual mode, you will receive an average of 350 XP per hour, and defeat will bring you 250 XP per hour. This is less than a ranked game in Standard or Wild. The difference is not that significant, but it is definitely not the best motivation to play duels for free-to-play players.
The heroic mode is analogous to arena, but only true duels fans can use this mode as a way to extract resources. The arena is more balanced, and in addition, your results in the arena largely depend on your skills and experience.
On the other hand, the arena-style reward system has long been outdated and is absolutely irrelevant. How often do you play in the arena? According to polls from various sources, arena is the most unpopular PvP mode. The only significant advantage of duels is the achievements that can bring you additional experience for your rewards track.
And finally, the fifth reason is cost. Duels is an expensive mode. In order to gain access to hero powers and starting treasures, you must have a large collection of cards from the current and previous sets.
Developers are gradually opening up access to new things for each class, but access to these updates requires cards. For example, the next update requires having 15 unique Scholomance Academy epic cards in your collection. Not all players will be able to meet this condition. By the way, earlier, you needed to have 20 unique epic cards to get the third hero power. Fortunately, the developers have changed this condition. In addition, the mode has a set rotation system. This means that you need to have cards from many wild sets.
Why did the developers make so many mistakes when creating duels?
In my opinion, this time the developers did not spend enough time testing the game mode. They just took Dungeon Run and added arena options to it. As a result, we got an alpha prototype of the mode. However, the benefit is that this is fast. Close testing could have taken forever.
I am sure that work on the mode will continue, and it will definitely get better. But will that increase the duels fan base? Twitch streamers are not interested in the mode, Hearthstone sites offer the same decks, and YouTube contains too little content about duels. It is very difficult to find metadata and statistics involving the mode as well.
Too often I meet the same opponents, and searching for a match sometimes takes several minutes. Unfortunately, duels in its current form is not interesting to the community.
In other words, duels has no future. Do I understand you correctly?
I really love the concept of the new mode. I love the dungeon run style and I really want to believe in the success of duels. But it seems to me that the developers do not quite understand what the players really need. There are some things in common between the rewards track and duels. Team 5 again set its mind on too many complex tasks.
What are you talking about?
The original idea of the Battle Pass offered players a really flexible progression system, but at the same time, the system reduced the amount of gold obtained by players, thus motivating them to make purchases. As for me, these tasks completely contradict each other.
It is impossible to create a really good system by taking away the most valuable resource from players, and at the same time not increase the value of rewards, then expect an increase of income and positive feedback from the players.
The developers created duels to give us a ton of fun, but at the same time they are making us spend more resources.
Duels forces you to buy more cards, spend more dust and stop getting rid of your collection after rotations. I think this is an additional part of duels monetization. In terms of game design, it would be much better to allow players to play casual duels with access to all treasures and hero powers, as well as open up free access to all cards from wild sets. Thus, the only limitation of the casual mode will be your standard collection. You will have almost all the tools to test strategies and prepare for heroic battles.
On the one hand, Blizzard hears the community and creates a lot of really cool things.
But at the same time, the latest ideas from the developers look very ambiguous.
If Duels had come out 3 years ago, the mode would definitely be a hit, despite all these flaws.
But the audience has changed a lot in recent years. In my opinion, players are very tired of meaningless restrictions in Hearthstone and this causes negative reactions among the community. For this reason, Battlegrounds has a large army of fans.
Dear friends, what are your impressions of Duels? What should developers do to get your interest back?
Maybe Team 5 should change the reward system in heroic mode or introduce a card ban system, or maybe they should remove restrictions for gaining hero powers or increase XP per hour for casual mode. As always, we have created a poll on our community page. Please go ahead and leave your vote for one of the options, as well as leave your opinion in the comments.
We would like to express our boundless gratitude to our sponsors.
Guys, your support is incredibly important to us. Many thanks to each of you.
Alright, that's all for today. Thank you for being with us.
And special thanks to Chris for text editing.
We will meet in new videos.
Good luck.